What was the difference tonight versus the last game you played?
We just had fun. You know, the crowd definitely played a huge part. You know, we had fans out in St. John's, but I didn't know where they were. Honestly, I knew a lot of people were there, but I didn't know where they were sitting. So it kind of just felt like it was an away game. Today was completely different. You know, the crowd played a big part.
Same question I asked Jay-Z about Grant, career high in points. What'd you see from him tonight?
Grant has grown, honestly, the most I've seen out of any player that's came back. In practice, you know, he works the hardest, you know, not harder than me, but he works pretty hard. But if he gets down, you know, I'm just there to, you know, pat him on the back and tell him, just remind him to play his game, you know, and his mindset has changed too. He's grown mentally, not just physically. He just wants to get better, you know. You guys know me and Paul compete for rebounds. He wants to be like Paul, you know, he wants to compete with me in rebounds. And in our scrimmage, he had like 16 points and 15 rebounds, and I had 3. I had 3 rebounds. And, you know, he lets me know. You know, he rubs it in my face. He was like, yo, I have no rebound on you. So we both had 8 tonight, you know, so I don't know how much he had last game, but, you know, I say we're tied right now, you know, for the whole rebound thing. But me and him are definitely going to compete, you know, and it brings the best out of both of us. So I'm super proud of him.
Jay-Z also said that you kind of took him into the gym. When did that start?
Honestly, he's been under my wing since he got here, you know, but it's definitely been more this year, being that I'm more of a leader, you know, and he's a starter now, you know, so he wants to be the best he can be. So, you know, he asked me to watch film, he asked me to get in the gym, he asked me to get extra cardio, he just asked me to be his big brother. You know, I'm his big brother as well as many other guys, but me and G are really close.
You mentioned the crowd too. Is that, you know, one of the reasons you came back to play in this kind of atmosphere?
1,000%. You know, I just did another interview after the game, and they asked about the crowd, and I can't thank them enough. You know, I said it in plenty of interviews, but that's just living proof. You know, the crowd was great. You know, especially for a Thursday night. You know, first home game. You know, I think they should get here on time a little more. But, it was great. You know, and we always got to thank them. You know, and Coach P told us to go into the stands after the game. You know, and thank them, and just hope we get the same type of crowd for Tuesday against a really tough Yale team.
Can you talk a little about your leadership style? You know, this year you're talking about your mentoring teammates and so forth. I mean, what is it about the leadership that you've been willing to step up and accept it?
I mean, that's the reason I came back. You know, I know at the next level I have to better myself mentally. You know, so being one of the oldest guys on the team, I have to be able to keep my composure when things aren't going well and just be that mentor where guys can look at it and be like, all right, you know, we're in shambles right now, but Amarri's fine, so I know we're fine. But the young guys, you know, are somewhat a mentor to me too, because you got guys like Ty, you know, when I'm down in practice, you know, he's picking my head up, and then Ty didn't even play today, but, you know, he doesn't let that affect him at all, you know. He's in practice getting on the older guys, you know, we got Samson. Honestly, I said in a meeting that just because me and Samson have the captain title doesn't mean you guys aren't captains. We're all captains, you know, we're all leaders, and guys can't be afraid to say things to me or Samson or whoever, a vet, doesn't matter, because we're all on the same team. You know, we all want the same thing at the end of the day. You know, we all have the same goal, so I think we're all leaders.
Tough loss at Yale last year, now they're coming here. What are you guys doing differently to prepare for that one?
Well, in my Quinnipiac career, I'm 0-2 against Yale, so this is definitely one I have circled on my schedule. Just trying to get a win against a really, really tough Yale team. You know, we got out rebounded last year. That won't happen again. You know, you heard it here first. That's not going to happen again, and that's just pretty much why we lost the game. I think the rebounding difference was somewhere close to 25, or if not more. But they're a tough team. They're tough and scrappy. You know, and this team is also tough and scrappy. You know, we have a lot of new guys, and they don't expect anything. So I think that's good for us. But we know what we are going up against. You know, and I'm sure we'll have a rough couple of days with Rebound League, which is one of my least favorite drills, but, you know, we're going to need it, you know, if we have to rebound the ball. You know, they have size, and we're just going to have to run.
How do Coach B, Sarah, and the rest of the training staff make you guys a better team on the floor?
Just emotional support. You know, I mean, Coach B, you guys probably think he's a crazy guy during the game, but everything he says is valid. You know, he's only saying it to better us, you know, and Sarah's just always there. Not saying they're on 2 different sides of the court, but, you know, she's at the end of the bench encouraging us. She's encouraging guys on the bench to, you know, give us energy. You know, she's just always enthusiastic, and we need someone like that when we feel like we're bumping heads with our head coach, you know. And even our assistants are really good at it, you know, but like I said, at the end of the day, we're on the same team. We all have the same goal, you know, so they work really well together. You know, they talk every day. He comes in the training room every day to make sure guys are good. You know, and I think it's just really good for us to have that balance.
Feels like all you guys are just trying to dunk the ball over somebody. How fun is it to just play above the rim with all those?
Well, it sounds crazy because I haven't dunked the ball since maybe the first summer session. That's no exaggeration. Like,
So how good did it feel today?
It felt great, and honestly, I didn't think I was gonna make it. I felt like I was pretty far, but when it went in, I was like, you probably watch it back. I was a little shocked, but I didn't know how to react. I didn't know how to celebrate. But the second one was for sure just like wide open. I was like, yeah, this is the one, and I hammered it, and it felt great. You know, and to hear the crowd erupt, it gave me a boost of energy. And like I said, we just had fun today. You know, and Grant's a high flyer, Keith's a high flyer. You know, and I used to think I was a high flyer until I see those guys jumping. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't have that in me anymore. But you know, the adrenaline definitely gets us going, and when a big time play like that happens, you obviously see that give us a boost of energy, and we get tons of stops.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark.